Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and now for the next step in our journey. So we have our API, and I have mapped out the endpoints I want to use. So I'm going to basically make a page for NYC, Boston, Harvard, Providence, just to kind of get the point across. And now we just have the matter of start actually making the React application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my dev server. So again, the way I know what command to use is I go to my package.json and I take a look at my scripts, see what I got. Okay, so for create React app, it's npm start. For create React basic, this template right here, it's npm run dev. Okay, so cool. So we got started. Then I'm gonna move this to the side like this, move this to the side like this. I think this could probably just take up a little less space there while I get started. And again, generally you always start off with the app component. And what I am going to do, and this is going to probably error for a bit, which is fine. Actually, what I'll do is I'll create the other components first. So I'm going to have a new file. We're going to have a header.js. And then we're going to have a folder. Should I? No, I don't think it's necessary actually. Header.js. We're gonna have a and then we're gonna have a what's the word I'm thinking of? Oh, we're gonna have to have a home.js and new file, a list.js. This is where we list restrooms. Okie dokie, and let me just copy some boilerplate to each of these. So import React from React, and then we will export the component. So export const list from, or no, const list equals props. And why do I prefer this over export default? Because I could also just do this. I could just replace this whole thing with export default. The reason I don't like that is just in the React Dev Tools, when I do this, it shows up as anonymous. Well, if I do this, it'll actually show the name of the component inside the dev tools. So that's the reason I do that. So yeah, I have to destructure it afterwards when I import it, but it allows me to easier use the dev tools. So that's that, and here we'll just return nh1 for now. h1 list. Okay, and I think that's all I need there. So let's just do the same thing for the other components. So this one's home. Header, same thing. And that's good. Now let's import these. Import header. So I gotta destructure it from / header. Then it's import home from / home. Then it's import list from / list. And there we go. And this should be header home list. Good. Okay, so now I can edit this, and actually before I even do that, I want to bring in router. So I'm gonna actually kill my server, and I'm gonna install router. So npm install react router and react router DOM. And what I need to import here is I need to import browser router, and I'm going to change the name of browser router to router, and I'm going to want to import route from react router DOM. I'm not bringing in a link yet because I'm going to use that for nav, and actually I do want to bring in switch, so let me bring in switch. Cool. So with that, let's get this show on the road. So I'm going to delete that. This is going to get router, the router component. Cool. Everything will be wrapped inside the router component, so that way I have the router features. Then at the top we're going to have a navigation, so that's going to be our header component. And then we're going to have our switch, where we're going to have routes. And let me think about how I want to set up these routes. I'll set up the home route as exact path equals slash, and then the component equals home. Okay, so that'll be the first route, and let me just set up the next couple. Okay. And actually, I don't even need these routes here. All I really need is I can do this. I can do route city, make it a param, and I think that's all I really need there for a router, because then basically this list component will change based on what city you're trying to go, and this one will render list. Okie dokie. So that is that. But now that router's installed, let me run the server again. npm run dev. Let's just make the header and get the navigation going. So in the header, I'll put some fragments in there. Okay, and then the header, we're gonna call this. We'll call this app free to go. And what we're gonna want to do is I am going to change the fonts in this CSS file here. Okay, I don't care about these styles anymore, so I'm going to get rid of those. So there's a few things I always generally want to do globally. So this selector means select everything. So I'm going to want to reduce the margins to 0 on everything. I want to reduce the padding to 0 on everything. I want the box sizing to be border box. That's right, these need to be semicolons. Box sizing, border box. Oh, wait, border box sizing. Box sizing. Let's try this one. Box Why doesn't it like it? Box sizing, border box. Oh, because there's this slash here. There we go. Okay, so we have that. Let me just make this back, push this back to the side. And let's set up some variables. So we're going to use my root selector to store variables. And first thing I want to do is change fonts. So I want to have a main font. And right now we'll just set it to serif. And then we will have a, and actually I don't think I even need to put that in quotation marks. Serif, and then we'll have a title font, which is Arial. I'm going to change these in a second. Now what I want to do is I'm going to head over to fonts.google.com. Okay, this is a decent enough font for text, so we'll just take this, select the style. Okay, so that style is selected. Now let's go back to the main page, find a title font. Actually, let's go back to the top, because right now it shows you all the most popular fonts. What I want to do, let's do it by the newest. I want to see what's new. And let's go with yeah, that stands out to me. Cool. So now that I've selected that style, I can now grab the embed code. I'm going to use the import. So I'm just going to grab this line right here, import it at the top of my style sheet, so that way that font is available. And then let's change the settings for those two fonts. So for the first one, monospace, that's that one, so that's my title font. So we want to put that under title. And this one, I'm going to put under main font. Okay, I just want to set those values there. Okay, so this way if I ever decide I want to change the fonts, I don't have to change a bunch of fonts properties. I can just change it here. So then I'm going to change all my titles to use the title font. So I'm going to do H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. And they're going to use font family. And we're going to use a variable. And the variable is title font. Then for the body, the main font for the body will be font family. That will be var main font. Cool. So now that I've done that, let's go take a look. free to go. Okay. So now with that, we're getting somewhere. Okie dokie. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some inline styles. Okay, so I'm going to define the h1 here. Also create a variable const h1 style equals an object, and we're going to just say text align is, and actually since it's like that, I have to do camel case, text align center. Okay. So this I'm just doing as an object, because that's how you do inline styles in React. So I would just pass it here, style equals h1 style, passing the object in there, and then that will be its style. Okay. Nice. h1 style free to go. So see, that got centered. Now what I am going to do is I am going to put a span around the to go. Interesting. Span. Okay, so we have a span around the to go because I want to make that a different color. And for that, I will do that here because I want to set up global colors. So let's look up a color scheme. Actually, I'll just use coolers. There we go. Yep. I get it. Okay. Okay, this works. So in that case, what I want is this color. Okay, make it easy to copy. Copy the hex. Yes, thank you. Okay. So I'm going to go to my styles, create some variables again for the colors. So we'll just call this light purple. Okay. And then we will have dark purple. Okay. I think these need to have a hash in front. There we go. Okay. Pink. Snow. Oh, and I never did mention what this box sizing thing does. What this box sizing thing does, just makes it that when you add border, padding, margin, instead of increasing the width and the height, it's included in any set widths or heights. Because usually what happens is, like, let's say you set the width of something 100, but then you set like a 10 pixel border, it adds like 20 pixels to the overall width. This switches that around. And yellow. Okie dokie. Save. So I can set the variables there, and I should be able to use them here. So I should be able to do. Actually, can I use them there? Actually, I think I can. Let's give it a shot. Span style equals color var light purple. Then I add a style to the span equals. There we go. Just say what I got so far, so it format's a little bit nicer. There we go. Then I hit save and fail to compile. What does it not like? Oh, there's still something weird here. Fail to compile. Span. I mean, it looks like I fixed that. Oh, I see. There's this random tag here. Okay, now it's complaining about something else. H1. What does it say? Unterminated JSX content. Span goes with the span. Oh, I see what happened. My closing fragment got replaced by that weird to-go tag. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're compiled successfully. And we'll refresh. Huh. What does it not like? Span style is not defined. Didn't I define it? Oh, I didn't write the word const. That's the problem. ESLint is very picky about that. Okay, still doesn't like something. For instance, style is not defined. Oh, I just wrote span style. I need to write span style in there. Span style. There we go. See, free to go. So there we go. We got a nice logo. Although there's an S there now, so I have to figure out where that came from. S to go. So let me get rid of the S. There we go. So that's getting a little bit better. Okay. Cool. Now what we want to do is create our navigation component. So right below H1, I will create a nav component. Okay, and I'm going to new file nav.js. This is nav. Nav. Okay, let's see here. Let me think. Nav. So I want to import that in the header. Import nav from /nav. That's fine. Cool. And now we start building the nav. So that's going to end up being wrapped in a nav component with a lowercase nav. And this is just going to have several. Then I'm actually going to want the link tool here. So import link from React router DOM. So here's where we're going to put all our links. And all the links will just be divs. So we'll just do a link. And the link is going to go to. And then how did I set up that URL? Let's see here. Let's go back to app. It was to /city. Okay. Link to /New York. I won't do it like with, just do it lowercasing. New York. That's gonna be to /New York. Okay, and then here we put the div. And that div will give it a class name of link. Or actually, I don't even need to do that because I have the nav bar. You'll see what I mean. And then this will be New York. And then let's just do that 4 more times. I'll just copy it. There we go. We got 4 links. We're going to have New York. We're going to have Hartford. We'll have Boston. And the last one's Providence. Cool. So there are my links. So right now, see, they just show up as links there. I want to change that styling. So I'm not going to do that inline. I think that one will be a little bit easier to do in the CSS file. So CSS. Usually I would do one or the other, but just to make it not look too cluttered as you guys watch, I'm switching between whatever looks a little bit easier to visualize. So in this case, we have a nav element, and that nav element, what we want to do is be a flexbox. So that we can take all these links and make them horizontal. Display flex. Okay, so see now all those links are horizontal, but I want those to be spaced a little bit better. So we're going to say justify content. We'll say space between. And we're going to give this a little padding, so that way those links that are on the edges don't nestle too close to the edge. So padding, we'll say 10 pixels. Okay. We're going to give it some margin. Okay, some margin of 10 pixels vertically and so it's vertically. Do I want anything horizontally? I'll just leave it all 10 pixels. That's fine. That way everything is nicely spaced. Now I do want the background color. To be that pink. Okay, so var -- pink. There we go. And then the font color. Well, if I do this a few times. Actually, I'll have to do that in the link, so I'll do that there. So then we do the divs that are in the nav. So nav div. And I want the text, or let's see here, font weight to be pretty high, so let's go for 900. There you go, nice and thick. Text transform. Let's make it all caps. Capitalize. I think it's no. I think it's I want this uppercase. Yep, there we go. So all caps, and then we want the nav div. Oh, we want the font color to be white. Or is it snow? I think I set up the variable. There we go. And then I want to get rid of that underline. Text decoration. Duration, none. Doesn't want to get rid of that underline. I'm not going to stress out about it right now. But what I am going to do is I'm going to change that background color a little bit to the dark purple. For more contrast. Dark purple. There we go. That looks a bit better. Okay, so we're starting to kind of see some of this take shape. Okay. But see, when I hover over them, it would be nice if this looked a little bit more like a link, you know, in the sense that it kind of responded in some way. So what we'll do is we'll do nav div hover. Actually, nav div colon hover, because it's a pseudo element, a pseudo selector. So I'm only selecting that div when it hovers, when it's being hovered over. In that case, what I want to do is now let's change the background color to the pink. Okay, and let's change the color to the dark purple. Okay. So now let's see here. I go over here. See, I get that effect. I'll live with it. Not as much contrast as I would like. But what I want to do is make it a little bit smoother. So I'm going to write a transition. And the properties I want the transition are the background color. And I want that to be like 0.2 seconds. Let's make it 0.3 seconds. And then we also want the color to transition for another 0.3 seconds. And that should be that. So this should make it a little bit smoother. See, now it's kind of eases in, giving it a little bit smoother effect. Very subtle, but nice enough. Okay, free to go. I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. So we got the navigation in this video. We installed a router. We did some styling. We're starting to see things start to take shape. So I'll see you guys in the next video.